NFL has been said to be up by 8%, an increase in viewership or where they were last year. So that's, they're averaging about 22.3 million viewers per game through week 5. The average was 18.5 million viewers, which was up for 8% from the previous year. So nice little increase there. They're saying that this is because of new data pools that they're bringing in, their approach to digital viewers, providing a comprehensive picture of the game now. And it's kind of crazy. If they didn't include the viewership from all the streaming data from the previous years, it's kind of crazy. But apparently the Sunday night football, Thursday night games, the way it's been viewed for free on Amazon, even if you don't have an account. A lot of things.
Thursday night football on Twitch as well.
That too. So you actually have the crowd out there. Week 1's kickoff game between the Eagles and Cowboys drew 28.3 million viewers at its peak. The week 2 matchup between the Eagles and Chiefs attracted 33 million viewers.
Wow.
Which is crazy. Before I get into that, let's get into what you got for us as far as this subject, and then we'll get into why we think.
I think there's 3 main pieces here. I mean, the number one thing that I don't think a lot of people are talking about is you have this can play a part in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is just my theory. You have quarterbacks like Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, guys like this who are just horrible on their first team or first couple teams in Sam Darnold's situation. And then you have them going on these other teams and balling out. Obviously, that's going to bring more attention in. And then the other big thing is, let's be completely honest, all the other big sports in America right now have been horrible. They're on way too many streaming platforms. The NBA is losing viewership every single year. The NHL hasn't been relevant since the late 90s. No one cares about baseball. No one's watching bodybuilding unless you are a part of it. But so it's of course
you just had to bring this up.
I did, but it's no one's gonna. I mean, obviously, the one sport that has remained as good as it's always been, no matter what the old heads want to say about the 85 Chicago Bears, the NFL is still a good game. It hasn't been ruined like the NBA. So that's one of the other things. And not to mention, it's on multiple different streaming platforms. Obviously, it being on Twitch is going to bring in a ton of younger viewership. And they're playing more international games. You have games being played in South America, in Germany, in London, in Ireland. So obviously, you're going to bring in more viewership internationally and view with the younger crowd on Twitch and other social media platforms. Plus, they got the stuff on Nickelodeon. So you're bringing in the really young kids as well, not just the guys around 12 to 15.
Yeah. That is very, very true. The Nickelodeon is actually a crazy pool because I forgot about that. But yeah, it just is. It's it makes sense. And then as far as the partnerships between the NFL Sunday Ticket with YouTube and all that stuff, totally makes sense. I think here's why I think people want to see the Chiefs lose. First of all, they want to see them lose beyond the Super Bowl. So the way that the Chiefs started out this year gave people hope because they had their worst start under Patrick Mahomes starting at 2-3. And people are like, oh, here it is. Here's the other thing. People have been hate watching the Browns this year. Shedeur Sanders.
That's true.
People have been hate watching.
And there's the Shedeur Glazers that watch.
Yep. And so at any given time, you're tuning into the Browns game if you're a Shedeur Glazer because you think at any given time that Kevin Stefanski's going to pull the trigger as long as he activates him. But it seems like he's been a healthy scratch for 2 weeks now. He's going to be out again this week, I believe. But people thought he would play sooner than what their third round pick and Dillon Gabriel was going to play, which is kind of crazy to think you're going to start your
Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah, you're just going to start your 5th stringer over your 3rd stringer and not give him a chance. Come on. And then also, if I'm Kevin Stefanski and the Browns organization, even if I thought Shedeur was better, why would I want to put him on this offense when they're playing terrible right now? That's the other thing. I guess if you wanted to look at the positive side of it without glazing Shedeur Sanders. And I think it's an excellent point that you brought up because I actually had this written down. The Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold succeeding in other places is actually got eyeballs on those situations. Not only because of the quarterbacks, it's because those teams had sucked before they got there too.
Yeah.
So And then the Anthony Richardson's not doing good. Then you draft a Jalen Milroe, with people are hate watching Sam Darnold because they want Jalen Milroe to come in. So you have all of that. And then I'll also think about what Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, and all those guys did last year. Caleb Williams, they didn't have bad years, so people were looking for a sophomore slump. People were comparing this to CJ Stroud. And then also we got to see a Michael Penix Jr. in his full season start out the year. And then probably the biggest one was J.J. McCarthy. The way that J.J. McCarthy in the first game then ended up not panning out the second game and been injured this year. So there's a lot of eyeballs, like, at any given time, what can we do? Also, I hate to keep bringing on the quarterbacks, but we're going to get past the quarterbacks, but I just wanted to bring all these points up. Could Aaron Rodgers be good? That was the other thing, because he signed with the Steelers so late, and people are starting to watch, and now Pittsburgh fans are feeling a little bit of hope because they're not playing terrible, right?
And then with the Giants, it's like, when's Dark going to get in? And obviously he has. And I believe our viewership has went up since then, because obviously you don't have Russell Wilson slinging the rock anymore. So that plays a part.
And 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗀 coming out of nowhere, which surprised everybody but me. But 𝗕𝘂𝘂𝘀𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗀 being good, Whip Jackson Dart, and them having the partnership that they had in all those games, believing in each other. And then, of course, the injury happened. Then you have crazy trades like Joe Flacco going from the Browns into the same division as the Bengals and then winning a game in pretty handed fashion. Then you have the injuries, right? You had the J.J. McCarthy, the CeeDee Lamb, the Joe Mixon, the Joe Burrow. Like, all those things happen, so people are starting to tune in and see how the other guys are going to do. Then you have Bijan Robinson and Jonathan Taylor having breakout seasons this year. Then you got the drama of A.J. Brown yet again, and if he's going to get traded. And then we're in trade week, where all the trades can come to fruition if A.J. Brown's going to be traded, which they come out and said no. Breece Hall's name is starting to kick up. Kirk Cousins is now being the storyline to go back to the Vikings. There's so many there's so many different things. And like I see Big Fridge said, Travis Hunter, that's an excellent point too, because a lot of people think they wanted to see how this two-way player thing was going to pan out, and he finally just had his first 100-yard game last week. So a lot of interesting things happening this year. But I think with all that being said, my only question in the NFL is, why didn't you, if you didn't count the digital streams and all of that before, because people started to look at it as a bad thing, I think what people started to find out is like, I guess this is the way we got to go, and people are going to seek and watch football, even the hate watchers, right? I mean, how many hate watchers did we have because of the Colin Kaepernick thing? They still watch. They still watch, right? I remember being at a hockey game one time, and there was this guy behind me. He was like, yo, I'm not going to watch football. I haven't watched football since Colin Kaepernick did the thing. I said, he did the thing off screen, and y'all are mad. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, we're not going to get into that, but it's just so funny how that happened. So here's some numbers, man, from some of the games this year so far in the regular season. As you see, the Philadelphia and Kansas City, Dallas and Philly, Baltimore and Buffalo, that was a good matchup. Then you had Detroit and Green Bay to pull 24, and then Minnesota and Chicago, because people wanted to see J.J. McCarthy. So again, all the points that we hit on, the graphic is actually showing that too from the regular season.
Bills Ravens was such a good game too.
It was a really good game. So let's get over to these comments real quick, man. Elijah said, "What's up, man? What's up to you?" Don said, "Have a good show, fellas. Man, I hope you're feeling better." Master Don. Happy birthday, hello everyone. Or I said happy Wednesday.
Yo, Dante can't read, bro.
Bro, I can't read.